Let's keep it going here. New York Giants and the Detroit Lions coming up this week at 1 o'clock. Lions suffered a defeat this weekend to the Minnesota Vikings. Got banged up a little bit in the time being, losing a starting running back. Not too sure if Slay's going to come back, but one of the more disappointing efforts I thought this weekend was from the New York Giants at home. That line opens up at -1, closes at 3.5, depending on where you're shopping at. They couldn't stop anything, which seems to be a theme on the season, and yet another win for those Arizona Cardinals. Looking at the spread this week, opening up 7, 6.5 in those areas. But take a look at the over, where it opens up at 48.5, 48. Now we're seeing some 50s coming through on the board this weekend in that game.
Yeah, I get the line movement on the total, but not the side. I don't understand really at all why the Giants are the sharp side here. I think this is that they get an F for their performance last week against the Cardinals at home with extra time to prepare. That was horrific. And on top of that, they rushed back guys on offense in Barkley and Ingram who got hurt again in the game. So now those guys aren't going to be 100% this week. Like, if you were going to trot out that kind of a performance, you might as well leave your guys on the sideline and let them get healthy. So it was a very, very disappointing performance by the Giants, top to bottom. Given that, spotting the Cardinals 14 points in that game, that was awful. And I wouldn't expect them to really be competitive in this one. I would expect the Detroit defense, who looked unfocused. And they looked unfocused and out of sorts after that tough break that they suffered on Monday Night Football against the Packers. I would expect that they bounce back a little bit here and dictate some of this game. So I get why the total is going up. There's going to be some garbage points here. Detroit's going to pick their number. I would look for a Detroit team total over on this one if I'm going to have a betting angle at all.
Yeah, it looks like a good one there, because when you're taking a look at the Giants, don't think we're going to get Sterling Shepard back at wide receiver. But you're so right. I mean, you say what you want. Running backs, we'll see how long they last in the NFL. Your franchise running back, one of the most talented guys in the league, is coming back. You're not making the playoffs this year, Giants. I don't know what Dave Gettleman thinks about, but it's pouring rain. You're on turf, and you rush the guy back from a high ankle sprain to play in the rain in a game that you're getting thumped, and he ends up hurting it again, running off gingerly to the sidelines. The only thing I could think about is, like, I don't know who is player management who thought this was a good idea, but typically when your team is going to stink, you take your franchise players and say, you know what, we're going to be real cautious in this situation, running it back out there. But you're right, looking at this game, I think there are going to be points, especially from the Detroit side. When you look at what the Giants want to do on defense, 26 points per game, 388 total yards. You can run on them. You can pass on them. Yards per play against their defense, over 6 at this point. There should be some numbers. And again, we don't have to worry about rain, windy conditions. We're going to be sitting in a dome in that game.